Hi. So I wanted to talk about why I don't call myself a feminist because, a lot of people out there will say, "Oh, what, you're not a feminist? So you don't believe in gender equality? Because if you believe in gender equality, well, guess what? You're a feminist." Or, well, you're either a feminist or a misogynist. And I find that to be a very black and white way of seeing things. And it's definitely not the way to start a conversation because when someone tells you that they don't identify as a feminist, do you honestly think, reasonably, okay? Do you honestly think that it's because they don't know the definition or that they're just sexist? Because generally humans are rational, so there's probably a reason behind them saying that. They've made that decision consciously, and if you take the time to talk to them about it, then you'll probably find that you have more in common than you think. In the end, it shouldn't really matter to you what people choose to call themselves because it's far less relevant than what they say and do and actively advocate for. So the main reason that I don't call myself a feminist is simply because I don't think you need labels. I think people's actions and words should speak for themselves, and so even if you do call yourself a feminist, that's not a problem for me. I have plenty of friends that do. I don't judge people by the labels with which they choose to categorize themselves. Because as we know, a lot of the time, that dictionary definition isn't entirely accurate for the person who has chosen to adopt it. And even if a dictionary definition does describe your views, that doesn't mean you should be forcefully chained to it. You should be able to distance yourself from it because sometimes things aren't exactly what they claim to be. And that's another thing, just the way the feminist movement, the current one, has defined itself. I just don't feel the need to associate myself with something that has gotten so corrupted from its dictionary form when I know that I can represent myself and my views fine without it. So I don't necessarily call myself an anti-feminist either because I don't need to, but I do enjoy watching the anti-feminist section of YouTube because it's funny and I think many of the aspects of the feminist movement deserve to be ridiculed. It's one of the most damaging and corrupt movements out there right now, so that's why I choose to criticize it more often than other things. It's not because I hate women. Surprise, surprise. So when people have a problem with people who don't call themselves feminists just because they don't call themselves feminists, that's just so rigid and obnoxious. You're not better than anyone based on your self-categorizations. So whether you call yourself a feminist or an egalitarian or nothing like me, make an effort to be open-minded and engage people with whom you may not necessarily see eye to eye. It'll go so much farther than trying to shut someone down with a dictionary definition. So I guess that's all. Thank you guys for listening.